All right. Hello, everybody. All right. So, kind of going off of the experience for the education. What was great about growing up in my family and being around those athletes and older brothers and sisters that were already eating in the smart way as we were going through those young years is it helped me develop such a good physique. And obviously, here's 14 years old. You guys have seen the football stuff, 15, 16, powerlifting and all that kind of stuff. Uh, Great. And the potential was there. Didn't know, I could only see my mom and dad, brothers and sisters, and that we were there. But it was the nutrition that set us up to win, obviously. And it was the consistency of nutrition. Um, and so the one lucky thing I did was I didn't extreme diet through school. I always focused on the good amount of calories. Get that size the best I possibly can before that 24-year-old age. And so when I was, 12, 13, 14, it was all about size until later in my 20s. By then, I was already in the magazines and doing what I was doing and winning the shows. I'm glad I didn't diet through school. I'm glad I didn't diet extreme. And I noticed that some people were messaging me saying, hey, I listened to this influencer, and this influencer said I only need to do this much calories. And so you got these guys that aren't experienced in the aspect of actually being teenage champions or teenage powerlifters or doing any of these things at all. And all they're doing is regurgitating what they're reading. And so I'm lucky enough that I was around actually great, not just great, but like the best powerlifters and these incredible bodybuilders at the top tier at such a young age. So that to me was my, I guess for you guys, it would be your influencers today. And so I chose the very, very best. And again, I chose guys that were doing it at the top tier. I don't mean they were studying it. That was happening as well, but they were also doing it. And so I always liked that aspect of the guy that has the education, but times two with the experience and took it to a different level. And so just be careful about who you're listening to on nutrition, especially for you youngsters, because you're never getting those years back. And so we jump over to Titan and what he looks like now. Again, he's 5. And it's fun to be able to see him and see his development at 5 years old and to see his incredible height and density in the muscle. But again, it goes back to the nutrition. And so what I got to do is I was lucky enough to understand what worked for me when it came to nutrition. And I've talked about this, guys. And this will be like just a video, basic video that I talked about my peanut butter and jam sandwiches. And Heath Evans and I have done this. But we'll just run a video here when we upload this later. But it talks about how I ate my proteins, my carbs, my good fats, and peanut butter and jam with the Wonder Bread was my go-to in between classes. Now, so that was calories. And at such a young age, and the amount that I was lifting and doing, it helped me put that size on, quality size, which was kind of cool. You think about that. And that age, your body is working in such an incredible amount that I was, again, I'm so glad that I didn't live or have those people in my ear about going, hey, you should just eat like a bodybuilder during those years. That would have been the worst thing for me. I don't think I would have been, well, I sure wouldn't have had the long career that I've had, because most of the muscle and everything that I've kept through my whole career was put on during my high school years. So again, lucky in that sense. And what we're doing is we're passing that over to Titan, the way he eats, the way he's doing his things. And we're still got control of it because, again, he's 4 years old, just turned 5 years old. So we're still in charge of his eating. Will that continue? Let's hope. Let's hope it does. But at least we set him up to this stage to be full potential on his height and muscularity. But how does this help you guys out there? It helps you guys out there as parents, that when your kid is trying to diet like a bodybuilder and just the low carbs at such a young age, my recommendation is try to get him with somebody that actually understands this and not just studied it, but actually experienced it. And there are people that were teenage champions out there that were doing it and living it. And again, I'm one of those people, but there's tons of others out there that have done it. Try to use that knowledge from someone that's actually done it relative to the studies, because I don't want you guys to be average. The point isn't to be average. The point is to have your kid be absolutely above average and kicking ass and doing the very, very best he possibly can. And this goes back to most of the football players I've talked to. Heath Evans, he and I have numerous times talked about how we ate through junior high school and high school, continuously eating smart, continuously eating our peanut butter. Peanut butter was the big thing. It was interesting, though, when I posted the video, and I've done this in the magazines, talked about the peanut butter and what it was for, how it helped me in the 80s and 90s. Now, just peanut butter was just one aspect of it. Obviously, I was taking in proteins. Let's clarify that. And I was taking in a heck of a lot of carbohydrates. Most of my carbohydrates were coming from egg noodles, but a large amount of calories. Also, some JoJo's. What do you guys call them? Potatoes? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just JoJo's, but fried. Now, when I put that up, obviously you guys can get a little cleaner food. But at that age, do you need it? I sure didn't. And I won't probably be precise in the sense of making sure my son doesn't eat Chick-fil-A nuggets and stuff like that. I'll keep him on those kind of things. The point was the calories set me up for my growth to build my strength, which would start the circle again because you're recovering so well as a young kid. But the one thing that I saw is when I did post that, the majority of comments came back and they go, well, that's not good eating. Which made me think that these guys out there that see that really think that you should be the chicken and rice and broccoli for a young high school kid. And just in my opinion, absolutely not. Have some sauce on that thing, have a little bit extra stuff. Make sure the calories are up there, have the noodles, have the bread, have all those kind of things when you are that age. And definitely have the peanut butter, but the peanut butter is a fat. So whatever fat you guys like, for that age, but make sure the calories are up. And I also talked about this when I did this documentary called Sups. I talked about the weight gainer drink that I had from Weider, and somebody can feel free to put down what the calories were on that thing, plus how much sugar was in that thing. But the two things it did for me was, again, it was extremely high calories. I think one shake had 1,000 calories in it. And then the second thing is it made me believe that I was part of a team, part of something bigger than just me bodybuilding up there in Kirkland, Washington. It made me believe like I was part of the Weider's team at 13, 14 years old, which was great. And that's also the second level to what this is possibly going to be for a lot of you guys. The belief that you're doing something bigger than just going to the gym and working out. So keep that open, keep that mindset, because the one thing everybody says at the top tier, it is mindset. It isn't the studies. It isn't anything else. It is the mindset of the individual. Staying true to the process, knowing that they can make it, and keep fighting like a mad dog. And I hope you guys all do that. The reason why I wanted to jump on today is because a video went up of Titan with his full set of six-pack or eight-pack abs. Again, everybody knows his height is crazy big, the size of a 9-year-old, I guess, an average 9-year-old, but he's only just turned 5. So again, his height and size and muscularity is very suspicious, I guess you would say, which is great because we've been feeding him a certain way and we've been doing our protocol with him in the sense of making sure he sleeps, drinks his milk, and eats well. And this should help you guys that are young. You don't need to be as diligent, I guess you would say, or as clean as a bodybuilder getting ready for a show. And understand, bodybuilders off season do eat a little bit more. They do have that surplus of calories and they do put that size on. And you don't get your whole life to put that kind of size on that you get to put on during those young years. So be smart with that. Eat your calories. Do not run away from it. In my opinion, if the look for you is sliced and diced, and you want to do that as you're a youngster, that's your decision. My recommendation is try to grow. And I don't mean just grow muscle wise. I mean, grow height and finish out what your potential is. And again, nutrition is the one key thing along with sleep that sets you up to do that. Just because you are projected at a certain height, bad nutrition can set you aside. So try to stay focused on that. What else you got, Jeffrey, here when it comes to this? Hey guys, no, that is definitely not my coin. Just a heads up. All right, all right. We'll leave it there for today. What do we got? What do we got? Yeah, we're good.